So can you believe it? It's been 3 years of owning the ADV350, and in the words of Sandy Denny, probably England's finest singer-songwriter, who knows where the time goes. So after 3 years, I do have to admit to a large degree of personal bias towards the ADV350 and this scooter in particular. I've had some fabulous experiences on this scooter. It's been incredible, and I have to say, looking back over the last 3 years, I am feeling rather reflective. However, we'll cover the reasons as to why I'm feeling rather reflective later on in the video. But first of all, let's crack on with a quick overview of the 3-year service and maintenance costs. Now, when I purchased it, I did take out the 3-year service plan. So this basically gives you one free service every year for 3 years. So first, second and third service. That cost £199. And then I've had 2 sets of tyres fitted, both of which averaged out cost me £160 each, and I think that's one of the big savings over a much bigger motorbike, because I'd probably be looking at double that, you know, for something like my old Z900 RS. So the tyres are Michelin City Grip 2s, and I've replaced the first set pretty early at 4,000 miles because I was just about to head over to Greece, and I figured they'd probably wear out by the time I'd got back. But having said that, I think the tyres, given the tyres that I've got on at the moment, I've done about 4,000 miles on them, and I reckon they've probably got about another 3,000 to 4,000 left. So I reckon out of the rear, at least, you can probably get 7,000 to 8,000 miles. Looking at the other consumables, so the brake pads are hardly worn, the scooter has never used any oil or coolant, and reliability has been 100%. And we'll take a short break now to go and have a look at the colour of the oil after 4,000 miles. Okay, so let's do the highly scientific oil colour check. Now, the last time I changed the oil was last year, so probably about 9 months ago, just before my trip to Greece. And since then, I've done around 4,000 miles without changing the oil. Of course, I've been checking it, but let's have a look. And this oil is 4,000 miles old. Have a look. So I've got a bit of white tissue so we can see the colour. Yeah, there we go. Kind of a dark caramel colour, I guess. Not black and minging. Have a look. So yeah, there we go. There's the colour. Not too bad really, is it, to be honest? Let's just check the oil level as well while we're here. It'll be difficult to see on the camera, but it's full to the brim. So I haven't topped it up in 4,000 miles since the last oil change. The oil's a good colour, and it's not used any oil or required a top up. So I think that's pretty good. So there we go. That's the end of the scientific test. Right, it's time for the big one, the 16,000 mile service. Now, I had this done after the 3-year period just a couple of weeks ago, and the bike had done around 15,000 miles, and this is the big service, which is rather notorious on various scooter forums. So before I get into the price, they do quite a lot. So the air filter, the spark plug, valve clearances are all done, engine oil of course, and the oil filter, but the big one of course is the CVT belt and the air cleaner, and they also change the final drive oil, and there's a ton of other inspections. So, you know, the throttle, the coolant, the evaporation system, brake fluids, etc, etc. So it's a really big service, and it does get a little bit of negativity in terms of the price, but the price I paid for it was £445. So let's break that down a little. So labour was £325, and that's for around 2.5 hours worth of work, and parts were £120, and included in that were the belts and the rollers at 60 quid. Now, I know you get quite a lot of comments that the belt and rollers are expensive and they don't last very long, or they're prone to snapping or whatever, but I think 60 quid for 15,000 miles is quite reasonable. And if you compare that to, say, a chain and sprocket kit for a CRF 300L, well, you know, you're probably looking at £90 to £100. Okay, let's add everything up then. So just to recap, £445 for the big service, £320 for 2 sets of tyres, and £199 for the service plan. So, assuming I'm working my calculator correctly, that's £964 in total, and on a per annum basis, that's £321 per year. Now, whether you think that's expensive, cheap, or just about right, it's entirely up to you, but, you know, it feels to me cheaper than an equivalent size bike. Okay, let's have a look at the drive belt and the air filter. What a beautiful place, and what a beautiful scooter. So this is the newly serviced and newly washed ADV350, and it smells quite nice as well. So I think Newcastle Honda must have some special scooter shampoo that's got, you know, a hint of coconut and jojoba in it. It smells really nice, actually. Who would have thought? Anyway, so what we're going to do now is just have a quick look at the CVT drive belt and also the air filter. Now, this is a CVT drive belt, and if I didn't know any better, I'd probably think it was brand new, to be honest. I mean, if somebody gave me this in a plastic bag with a sticker on it, I think it was a new part. I mean, I don't really know what I'm looking at, but you know, there's no cracks in it. There's no signs of degradation or anything. It all looks like absolutely perfectly fine. I can snap it. I mean, I've got the strength of a 7-year-old girl, so there's no way I'd ever be able to do anything with it. But no, it looks, it actually just looks totally brand new. And when you think about it, it's been whizzing around at high speed for the last 15,000 miles in 3 years. It's really quite amazing, isn't it? It's incredible. Gosh, look at that. So I've got a spare now, so I'll get some close-ups of that so you can see it in more detail. So yes, to me, it looks absolutely perfectly brand new. And if I ever had any concerns about CVT belts in the past, do you know what? I haven't got any at all. When I think some of the high-speed hot journeys that I did last year, with this thing powering me forwards up the Furka Pass and all around Greece, I mean, it's absolutely incredible, really. So if you do have any concerns about CVT belts, I wouldn't bother, really, to be honest. And just a reminder, this and all the roller weights in the CVT drive clutch, 60 quid. I mean, really, compared to chain and sprockets, I think it's an absolute bargain. Right, the next thing we're going to have a look at is the air filter, which is a bit embarrassing, actually, to be honest. It's a bit grubby. So, this is the air filter. And again, I'll do some close-ups of it, but it's a bit filthy, actually. I can't believe that it was actually being able to suck in any air. But, you know, it's done the job, hasn't it? So, yes, a brand new air filter, and that was 30 quid. And then the other reflective part of the video is all to do with second chances. Now, if you follow the channel, you probably know that about 4 years ago I had quite a nasty motorbike accident and broke this leg. I'm not going to go into all the gory details now, so please check out the videos. But at the time, I genuinely thought that I wouldn't ride a motorbike again, let alone go on to do some long distance tours. And I must admit, it wasn't so much my confidence had been shaken, you know, as well as the physical injuries in my leg, but it was also, you know, my attitude towards risk. But what the ADV350 it did for me when I first rode it about 3 years ago, and I was still in quite a lot of pain then, is that it really changed my attitude and my thought, and it gave me the confidence back, you know, to get back onto two wheels and to do it in a real easy, comfortable way that allowed me to build my confidence back and gave me the trust back into two wheels. And as you'll know, I've done some very fabulous, totally fabulous long distance tours on it. So the ADV350, I haven't got an emotional attachment to it, but it is definitely a vehicle that I really think about it in terms of it gave me another chance. It gave me that second chance to sort of feel what it is about two wheels and how much I love motorcycles and scooters. And that's something, from a very reflective point of view, 4 years later, it's something that I really respect and admire in the ADV350, and indeed any scooter, but this one in particular. It really did give me another chance. And for me these days, I don't think of it in terms of it being any less than a motorcycle or a lesser form of motorcycle. What it is the joy, the freedom, the love, the fabulous feeling that you get with riding two wheels, and all it is just a different shape. That's all it is. It's just a different shape, and it's no worse for that. It's a fabulous machine. Okay, and finally, what are my plans for 2026 and 2027? Well, this year, 2026, I don't have any plans for doing any long distance tours like I did last year and the year before. I will, however, be heading over to Belgium to watch the Chimay Classic Road races, so I'm really looking forward to that. And in a few months' time, I'll be heading up to Fort William to watch the Scottish 6-day trial, because it was brilliant last year. And then in terms of my plans for 2027, if Honda bring out a significantly updated ADV350, or maybe even a 400, if they do that, then I will definitely be buying it. And if they don't, if there's only minor updates for 2027, then I won't bother, and I'll just keep this for another year. So you might ask, am I not considering any other types of scooter or any other models of scooter, you know, particularly like the Zontis 368, which gets a lot of attention? Well, no, not really, to be honest. I think that's because, you know, when you've had a really good experience with a particular model and a particular manufacturer, it's been flawless for the last 3 years. So, you know, why change really, to be honest? And the other thing about it is the next scooter I buy will be the final scooter that I buy, and it will be the scooter for life. So this for me and Honda are a real known quantity, and I'm not knocking any other makes, but when it's your scooter for life, the next one that you buy, I think you've got to stay with what you know and what you're comfortable with. Anyway, well, that's my rationale anyway, and I'll see you later. So yes, what a beautiful spot this is. And if you're interested, this is a viaduct that used to carry the Cornhill to Kelso branch line. I think it's been disused for probably about 100 years or so now. But a really beautiful spot. And this particular viaduct is called the Panama Viaduct. And when I was looking it up this morning, Google was very helpful because it said, do not get confused with the viaduct that goes over the Panama Canal in South America. Thanks a lot, Google, because otherwise, you know, I could have got into some trouble there. And I do like a good disused railway line. There's something really evocative about it, isn't there? I mean, it reminds me of, you know, the 70s when you're messing about with your mates on push bikes and having adventures in the countryside and things. And then there, of course, there is that fabulous film by Rob Reiner, who died recently, great director. The film called Stand By Me, which is about a bunch of kids in the US following some railway tracks through the forest and through the trees. And it's really beautiful. They have fabulous adventures, great cinematography, well worth a watch. But what I was going to say is, if you're interested in old viaducts and other railway paraphernalia and disused railway lines and stuff, let me know in the comments below, because there's quite a lot of these things kicking around in Northumberland and the Scottish borders, and I thought, you know, it might be nice to do a little video series, and it might take me to some really nice places. So if you're interested in disused railway lines, let me know in the comments, and I might be able to pull together a couple of more videos. Right, on that note, I'll see you later.